Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the top teams for the Sunshine Cup. The Sunshine Cup is a Great League Cup, so 1500 CP. You're going to be able to use normal type Pokemon and then the Pokemon that are boosted by sunny weather, which is fire, grass and ground type Pokemon. Not allowed is going to be Charizard because it would be too broken. Now let's take a look at the meta itself real quick. As you're going to see here, it's going to be a meta that's going to be a little bit interesting again. This is, here as you can see already, the difference between the second and the third Pokemon is kinda significant. There is a 6-point score difference here on the right side. As you can see, the score kinda showcase how close those Pokemon are to each other. So you basically see that Pidgeot and Noctowl are going to be very, very strong in this meta. And you see that as well, that this typing is going to be very decent. If you go a little bit further down, you're going to see Swallow as well as Rufflet, Pokemon that you usually don't really see in this type of meta. Very, very high up there because just the normal plus flying typing is insanely strong in this current meta. Allowing you to basically have next to no answers. There's something like a Galarian Stunfisk, but if you might know already, the matchup against Noctowl can be a little bit tricky as well. So if you look at the hardest answers for Noctowl, it would be an Bomber Snow, which is not really the craziest one here either. Same here, it's going to be Stunfisk, Steelix, or a Magcargo, which is interesting, or a Magmortar, which most likely runs Thunderbolt, which is definitely not really something that you're going to see a lot. So yeah, it's going to be a little difficult. It's going to be basically all based around those two Pokemon in the lead. Saysop's very decent there, going to be Dubwool and Vigoroth. You're going to have basically no answer for Vigoroth again. Like, what do you want to do here against Pidgeot as well as Noctowl? You actually should be able to win this in a two-shield scenario, as you're still going to do a neutral damage with all your charge moves. Gliscor is, I guess, the best answer for this Pokemon. There is basically no answer for it. So this is going to be it basically for this meta. It's going to be based around all those Pokemon here up top. Diggersby, I have no idea how it landed up there. I don't know what you're trying to do here up there, Diggersby, but you lose literally against all the top 4 Pokemon above you. So don't really think that Diggersby going to be as good there as well. It might be still okay thanks to Quick Attack, but like, yeah, I don't really think it's going to be the craziest Pokemon. Abomasnow going to be a decent anti-meta Pokemon. Blaziken going to be still nice. Obstagoon still going to be nice. Some Fire-type Pokemon are going to be nice. And as the Charizard is nerfed, or like not allowed in this cup, Moltres is basically taking its place, which is going to be an interesting Pokemon as well. Both Shadows, whilst the normal variant has some potential for this meta. Otherwise, it's going to be it for this section of the video. Let's go into the top teams, which are quite a few less than usual because there is not a lot to work with, to be fair. You see the difference between the top 2 Pokemon and the rest. It's kinda crazy hyper-focused around like Noctowl, Pidgeot. First team here going to be basically the main meta team for this meta here right now. We're going to have a flying type in the lead, which only really has answers that are like basically Abomasnow, basically maybe Magcargo. That's basically anything that it can really beat here. So like those two Pokemon in the lead are just so insanely overpowered in this current meta. As well as the Saysop, which is going to be Vigoroth, is also insanely overpowered in this meta. Doesn't really have any answer at all. And we can actually play a triple normal team here, which is kind of funny because we're going to have in the back either the Obstagoon or the Dubwool. Theoretically, you could also, I guess, use something like a Blaziken in the back, but then you don't have another normal type. So we rather stick with those normal types here just for the theme. But Obstagoon might be even a little bit better suited for this scenario here in the back, but also you can definitely use the Dubwool. Dubwool is just a very good cheap, and we can go into the next team. Did I say that the Vigoroth plus Pidgeot slash the Noctowl is overpowered? Yes, it is still, and here we're going to basically have it just flipped around. You can also use just the Vigoroth in the lead, having both of those birds in the back, and you're going to have one of the most overpowered and also most common team for this kind of meta. There's nothing that really can beat this, to be fair. Like, it's really kind of lame, and I feel like it's going to be not really a cup that a lot of people are going to enjoy just because of it basically being the same Pokemon all the entire time, because they're just so good in this meta, and there's not a lot that really beats this core. So yeah, you're going to have this one in the lead there, then you're going to have in the back, you can have, of course, either those two birds as said before, or you can have something like a Moltres, or you can also have something like the Talonflame. Those two Pokemon also very decent. Actually, I wonder really why they banned Charizard. I feel like they should have banned like in general those flying type Pokemon with wing attack because they're like so strong in this meta. Don't really think that Charizard would have been as crazy. I like it would have been strong, of course, but like Noctowl and whatever still allowed, kind of wild. The next one here going to be with Abomasnow in the lead. Again, we're going to most likely see a lot of times the Noctowl or the Pidgeot in the lead, so this might be a decent answer for this one. But also, of course, going to have some weaknesses against something like a Vigoroth. We're going to have the Saysop here of both either Pidgeot or Noctowl again. And in the back we're going to have Swampert, a Pokemon that might not be as good as it seems right now. I don't know. Actually, I'm like kind of torn between like Swampert there. Of course, you kind of need something to deal with a Galarian Stunfisk if this actually is still going to be really viable this meta. I'm not sure how many people are going to run Galarian Stunfisk. You need something to answer this kind of. So you could also go ahead and go again for your Vigorous Say-So, by the way, and just put the birds in the back. It is just like, yeah, basically you could put any Pokemon, I feel like, that is decent in the meta, put the one of the two birds in the lead or like in the back, and use the Say-So of Vigoroth, and you're going to be fine in this meta. It's kind of stupid, to be fair. Let's go into the next one. Actually, a Pokemon I find really interesting for this meta right now is going to be one that's ranked around like the rank 70 or something for this one, which is going to be the Unova Stunfisk. This Pokemon is basically the only viable electric type Pokemon, which is of course in the meta. It's basically based around two birds. Very, very decent, I feel like. This Pokemon has a lot of very neutral matchups in the meta in general. Of course, Obama Snow, which we have in the back here, might be a little bit of a tricky one, or the Swampert as well, but our team should be able to deal with this anyway. But I feel like Stunfisk is one of the best Pokemon that you can run right now. Feels like with Thunder Shock as well as Discharge going to be very, very strong for all those birds that are coming to your way. So I feel like this is going to be a very interesting team here. Let's go into the next one. Next team going to be very weak against Fire-type Pokemon. That's something that I'm not really sure about this yet. Like, I'm not sure how many Fire-type Pokemon we're going to see. There could be like some teams with the normal Ninetales, which has some play, of course, or like something like a Sunny Cast form. But of course, it's a little bit tricky for those Pokemon to exist in the current meta, because it's like also based around those top Pokemon there that I don't really like. Against this, like the top Pokemon, this team is amazing. Against like Fire-type Pokemon, it's going to be a little bit tricky. We're going to have a lead here that's going to be able to deal with a potential Swampert that we're going to face. So that's why we have either the Tropius or also the Jumpluff in the lead. Say-So going to be the Steelix, and also in the back we're going to have the Galarian Stunfisk. The main reason for those two Pokemon in the back is the obvious weakness to flying type Pokemon, which are pretty common in the meta. So let's take a look now into the final team, which is going to be a little bit spicy as well again. And yeah, let's go. Next to me, going to be now the final one with Victini. Victini is actually a very good Say-So in this current meta. Like, there's not a lot that really wants to come in against this Pokemon. Mainly, most likely something like a Swampert, but if you do this, you're going to have also in the back now some Fire-type Pokemon that can benefit from that. So this might be an interesting one as well for this meta. Victini's Say-So doesn't really have any answers right now. Also, you have a lead that's a little bit weak against Fighting-type Pokemon or like counter users in general, and you have two Pokemon in the back that's going to be able to resist it. Well, honestly, for Victini as well as for a shadow version of Moltres, resisting is a little bit too much because they're pretty squishy. It's still going to be, at least in type-wise, a pretty decent advantage here, and I think those should work out pretty well. But yeah, this is going to be it for this video. Only 6 teams because there's not a lot that you can build in this meta, in my opinion. There are going to be still some different kind of videos coming out for this meta on my channel, most likely with some more spice. You can also send me in some battles with a link in the description, but otherwise that's going to be it for this video. On the left side, you're going to see some battles with Shadow Moltres for this cup in some test battles. If you want to take a look at them, definitely take a look at them. And otherwise, hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!